Namaste, welcome everyone. My name is Kassandra and I'm going to take you through this afternoon energizing practice. So this is a wonderful class to do either on your lunch break or sometime in the afternoon, maybe after work, when you are feeling that midday slump and just want to stretch and get a little boost of energy. Great for all levels, no props are required, and we will start standing up as a way to get that blood flow going and to start energizing ourselves. So get at the top of your mat with your feet hip-width distance apart in Tadasana, your mountain pose. Roll your shoulders down and away from your ears. Close your eyes and really feel your tailbone lengthen down, your lower abdominals hug in. And I really like to work on the foundation through our feet in this pose. So while keeping your eyes closed, lean all of your weight forward as if you were going to tip forward into the balls of your feet. And now lean all the way over to the right. Lean all the way back into your heels. Go all the way over to the left. And now find your true center between those four extremes. Lifting up through the arch of each foot. Go ahead and open your eyes and you can reach your arms up towards the sky. Grab a hold of your right wrist with your left hand and you're going to step your right foot back behind you, rolling on the outer edge of that foot as you crescent over. So big side body stretch here. All through the right side of your body. Come back through to center and we'll switch sides. Grab a hold of your left wrist, cross that left foot back and crescent on over. Push out into that left hip. And try not to hike your shoulders up towards your ears. Back through to center, cactus shape with your arms. Bend your elbows out at a 90-degree angle. As you inhale, you're going to open your chest up wide like a cat and cow. Exhale, round it in and contract. Try to really just isolate your mid and upper back here. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, open. Exhale, contract. Last one, inhale, open, and go ahead and interlace your fingers behind your lower back. You might want to widen your stance a little bit here. We're going to dive all the way forward and down, reaching your knuckles up and over. And you can definitely bend a little bit into your elbows here. See if you can keep your wrists together. Rolling your shoulders back. Release your hands down towards the mat and we're going to step back, Adho Mukha Svanasana, back into your downward facing dog. Our first one, create space at the back of your legs. Bend into your knees, curl your tailbone up towards the sky. Feel a nice wrapping of your shoulders here as if your as if your armpits were about to face towards one another. Let's come all the way forward into our plank pose. Really strong through your core here. Push into your fingertips and lower all the way down to your belly. Point your toes back. Roll your shoulders back. Bhujangasana, cobra pose. Exhale, lower, press back, balasana into child's pose. Big toes together, knees as wide as you would like them to be. Try to melt your heart towards the floor. Getting your inhales to be just as long as your exhales. Two more deep breaths here. Really press those hips back. And start to walk your hands back so you can sit on your heels, and you'll want to bring your knees in so they're hip-width distance apart. We're going to swing our right arm all the way forward and back. Plant your left hand back behind you And see if you can lift your hips here. So variation of our camel pose, inhale. And as you exhale, swing down and go to the other side. Inhale, left arm up, pick up those hips and release. Go with your own breath flow here. You can go as slow as you would like. Just getting a nice stretch through our thighs, through the front of the body. Little bit of a side bend, which is wonderful for energy. One more on each side. Coming back through to neutral, let's find our downward dog again. Plant the palms down, tuck your toes under, lift your hips up and back. From this downward dog, reach your right leg up towards the sky, and you can kind of externally rotate through your hip here. So rather than trying to have your thigh face down towards the floor, you can open up your hip without bending your knee. So keep that leg straight, but open the hip. And now let's bend into both knees, come down like a little coupe. You're bringing your ankles together to touch. And then inhale, stretch it all the way up and back, three-legged dog. Let's do that a few more times. Exhale down, inhale up. Exhale down, shoulders are strong. Inhale, lift it up. One more here. Exhale and inhale. Let's find our high lunge, Ashta Chandrasana. Right foot steps to the top of the mat. Feet are hip width distance apart as you lift on up with your chest and upper body. Keep your gaze steady. Breath is calm and controlled. Reaching up through your fingertips. And we're going to step up from here into Rikshasana, our tree pose. You might want to bring your hands to your heart at first. And then step on up. You're going to bring that left foot somewhere along the inside of that right leg. So remember what we did at the beginning of class when we were moving the body weight through our feet. Try to find that center of gravity here without digging your toes into the floor. And maybe you open up your arms if you'd like. I'll give you the option of adding a side bend in this pose, bringing your left hand either to your hip or to hold onto your ankle. Right arm crescents over. This is harder than it looks. Coming back up and through to center, Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2, step it back. So you want your front foot to be pointing towards the top center of your mat, back heel parallel to the short edge of your mat. Sink down low. Pressing into both feet. Trikanasana, triangle pose. Straighten that front leg. You might want to narrow your stance a little bit. Send your hips back, chest forward, right hand down, left arm up. Only looking up if it's okay for your neck. And let's look down to the floor, start to bend into that front knee. Take your flow or simply step back to down dog if you prefer. Inhale, plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, upward dog, and we all meet downward facing dog. Getting ready to repeat this sequence on the second side. Three-legged dog, reach your left leg up. Externally rotate and open that hip without bending your knee. Let's bend both knees, bring your ankles together to touch and really get that right knee as low to the floor as you can. And then press and straighten both legs back. 3 more like this. Inhale, lift. Exhale, down. Inhale, lift. Last one. And up. Step it through, high lunge. Left foot between the hands, feet are hip-width distance apart. Draw your lower belly in and lift on up with your chest and with your arms. So feel the stability of your feet connecting to the ground, and you're carrying that energy all the way up to your fingertips. We'll go from here into Rikshasana, or tree pose, hands at your heart, and you can step up, planting your right foot somewhere alongside the inside of that left leg. Slowing down your breath. Try not to dig your toes into the floor. Maybe your arms open up. Totally normal to sway a little side to side here. And let's bring our right hand either to the hip or to hold onto your ankle, adding a side bend. Left arm reaches up and over. Lifting up, Virabhadrasana 2, step it back to your warrior 2. So a nice wide stance, pretty much as wide as your arms. So your feet end up roughly underneath both palms, palms facing down. Squeeze that left knee open. At the same time, try to push your right hip back. So there's a lot of work happening here in this pose. Straighten your front leg, Trikanasana, triangle pose. Bring that back foot in a couple inches, hips back, lean forward and down. Stacking one shoulder over the other. Try to lean back against an imaginary wall here so you're not rounding forward. And you can look down to the ground, start to bend into that front knee. We take our vinyasa from plank pose, chaturanga, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Stretch it out. Stretching it out. Take a cleansing breath here in this down dog. So you inhale through your nose and let go out the mouth. And let's bring our knees to the floor in your tabletop pose. We'll come into a variation of Parshvabalasana, or thread the needle. So you can reach your right arm underneath you, shoulder and ear to the floor. Lean your hips back to the right. Notice if they've swayed and shifted a little bit. And then you can maybe straighten and reach your left arm up overhead. You're welcome to stay and hold as you are, or you can intensify this by straightening your left leg and maybe lifting and reaching that left leg up and back. Keep an internal hip rotation. So you want the front of your left leg to be facing the floor. Big diagonal line from your left hand to your left toes. Carefully release, bring it down, slide your left hand back in. We'll come up and switching sides, left arm slides underneath you, thread it through. Press your hips over to the left and then maybe extend your right arm up. Maybe straighten your right leg and start to squeeze your glutes and hamstrings to lift that right leg as high as it'll go. Totally normal for one side to feel a bit more awkward than the other one. Most of us tend to have those asymmetries. Keep the energy strong in that back lifted leg. Very slowly set that knee down. Slide that foot in, come on up. And we'll come into our lizard pose from here. So just step your right foot to the outer edge of both palms, pressing those hips forward. I'm gonna do like a winged dragon variation. So lifting the foot up, rolling to the outer edge of that right foot, and then coming down onto the forearms. And you can always stack your fists here to support your head, or you can just let gravity pull you deeper into it. We're just here for about 5 breaths or so. If you've been sitting a lot today, it's really good to take this time to open and stretch through our hip flexors and through our glutes and lower back. One more big breath. And just come back up onto your palms, step that right foot back. Before we go to the other side, take a little puppy pose stretch. So keep your hips where they are over your knees and walk your hands out in front of you, forehead down to the floor. And you can make this more active by keeping your elbows lifted off the floor and trying to just press your chest down, or you can relax your arms a little bit more so the elbows make contact with the mat. We're not here very long. And let's walk it back in. We'll find that lizard pose or gecko stretch on the other side. So step your left foot to the outer edge of your left hand. My knee is over my ankle. This is option 1. Feel free to just hang out here. There's already a lot going on. Or you can curl the toes up, roll to the outer edge of that left foot, and maybe stay up on your palms or come down to your forearms. So lots of different ways to get into this pose. One more big breath in here. And come back up onto your palms. This time we're just going to step right away back into our downward facing dog. If you'd like to take a little vinyasa to close off this floor sequence, we're going to do that now. Inhaling from plank, chaturanga, upward facing dog, and we all meet back. Downward dog. Let's reach our right leg up to the sky. Bend your knee and open up your hip here. Squeeze into your glutes. And step that foot forward, coming back into our high lunge. We've been here before. Lift on up. And you're going to circle and press the arms open. Really feel your rib cage flare open here. One of the few times I'm going to ask you to do this. And try to maintain this arch as you lean forward. Keep that right knee bent. And reach back as you lift that left leg. Squeeze your shoulder blades behind you. Hands at your heart. Straighten that right leg. Warrior 3. So now your spine is neutral and parallel to the ground. Come all the way up to stand. Bring your left leg and knee in with you. Grab a hold of the front of your knee with your right hand. Open into your twist. Left hand reaches to the back of your mat. Let's release, mountain pose, roll your shoulders down, take your vinyasa, inhale and exhale. Halfway lift, flat back. Plant the palms, you can step or hop back, going through your flow. From this down dog, stretch that left leg up, bend your left knee, open up your hip. Great big stretch here. High lunge, Ashta Chandrasana. Second side. Get a nice lift. Shoulders are directly over your hips and pelvis. And now find a little back bend here as you flare the ribs open and like wings, you're broadening. Reaching your arms back and maintain this arch as you lean forward. Keep your left knee bent. as you squeeze the glutes to lift that right leg up. So I'm keeping my chest lifted in this first variation, and then bring your hands at your heart, warrior three. I'm now facing down towards the floor rather than looking forward. Both legs are straight and engaged. Come all the way up to stand. Squeeze to lift that knee up. Bring your left hand to your right knee. Right arm extends back. Release to face forward. Let's take our flow. Halfway lift. Step or hop. I generally prefer to step. And from this downward dog, let's lower down onto our back all the way. And keep your legs extended. Let's pull our right knee in towards the belly, and we're gonna cross it over into a twist. So right knee crosses over to the left. You can use your left hand to guide it. Right arm stretches out to the side. So you're trying to stack one hip over the other. Slowing things down here. Now come back through to center, but cross your right ankle over the top of your left knee. Pull that left thigh in, reclined pigeon pose. Big stretch through your hips, through your glutes. Let your upper body soften here. Just using a little bit of arm strength. Keep this reclined pigeon pose, but you're going to straighten your left leg and maybe hold on to the back of your ankle or the back of your shin to pull it in. Bridge pose, Setubanda, Sarvangasana, both feet flat to the earth. Push into your heels, squeeze your glutes and lift on up. Hug through your inner thighs and release down. This sequence on the other side, pull your left knee in towards your belly into your twist. So your left thigh crosses over to the right, and maybe stretch your left arm out to the side. Stacking left hip over the right one. Breathe slow and steady all the way down into your lower abdomen. Into our reclined pigeon pose, cross your left ankle over the top of that right knee and pull your right thigh in, holding on wherever is appropriate to you here. Stay in this pose, but straighten your right leg, holding on to the back of that leg. Into bridge, feet flat to the floor, lifting up. You don't need to go very high here. I'm trying to find more of a neutral alignment. And curling down inch by inch. You can just flop your knees side to side, little windshield wiper motion before we set ourselves up for Shavasana. Our final pose. As you settle and get comfortable here, this is a good opportunity to notice how you feel now as opposed to when you first stepped onto your mat this afternoon. Noticing what has changed and shifted. Surrendering in the pose. Just another minute or two here. Deepen your breath. Make some movements just so you can wake back up here, stretching it all out. And you can roll to one side. We'll come up, taking a seat. Sit up tall. Hands at your heart, Anjali Mudra. Finding your center here. And I want you to really acknowledge the work that you've done, the effort you've put in, showing yourself gratitude and love for making time in your busy day to practice, for persevering all the way to the end, even if there were challenges along the way. Showing gratitude for your health, your body. Let's close with the chant of Om. Inhale to chant, big breath in. Namaste. Thank you so very much for doing this afternoon energizing practice with me. I would love to know how this one went for you, and also if you would like more afternoon practices on my channel. I've noticed that I have a lot of morning classes, I have a lot of evening and bedtime classes, but I don't really make usually afternoon flows, and I don't know why, because that tends to be when I practice the most during the day anyway, is like usually around lunchtime or later in the afternoon. So anyway, if this was helpful to you and you would like to see more on my channel, leave me a comment below. It's super helpful. Please do subscribe, and hopefully I will practice again with you very soon.